And welcome everybody to another episode of Music and Brews. I am your host, Johnny B. And as always, I have my co-host, Brian Michael.
What up, bro? How you doing?
Oh, living the dream.
It's our 4th of July special, Johnny.
I'm very excited.
Me too. I stopped by and pick up some fireworks.
Yeah.
It's not a 4th of July special.
Without
explosives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm in a minute. I'm gonna also tell you why I'm afraid, or I'm gonna remind you of why I'm afraid of your fireworks.
Okay.
But with that said, we have some guests with us today. We haven't had a guest in so long. We're super pumped. Everybody, give a round of applause that we can't hear for Mr. Andy Ross. Woo!
Hey, how the hell we doing? Red, white, and brews, baby.
That's right.
I've got my eye on that tank. That would might go home with me. I mean, I love your selection of fireworks. You shop. You got some in here. It looks like an adult went to the fireworks store, and then you got some in here. It looks like you took your nephew.
Yeah.
You got, the snakes and the little.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, she actually asked me there.
Some
She's like,
snapping pops.
she's like, these don't do anything big, right? And I'm like, I'm just doing it for kind of looks.
When you light them off indoors, you don't want too much anyway, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I was thinking, like, you remember Men in Black when they give them the tiny little weapon and it ends up like exploding.
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
that kind of thing. That's what I was hoping for. Like, it's just like
This thing moves about 1 foot forward and then shoots these little things, and when it shoots them out of the front, it goes like 8 feet back.
Yeah.
Turns and shoots the last one right at you.
Right at you? Yeah. Those are fun.
Oh man.
Speaking of which, now that we're on the story, what was those?
So, okay, we were literally out right in front of his house. It was 4th of July. It's at the end of the night. We were drinking pretty good. We weren't like wasted, but we were shooting off fireworks, whatever. And Brian had one that was like a ring. It was really weird.
It spun and then shot.
We didn't know that.
Yeah.
We didn't know that at the time. No, do you not remember this?
Yeah, you were standing over there and it shot
and
right
it
at
shot
you.
right at me. I had to dive to not die.
It's not 4th of July without someone getting hurt.
Getting a little hurt, yeah.
Well, I tell you what, when I was young, the parental control over 4th of July wasn't much. They pretty much just sent you and all your buddies out in the middle of the street with everything that could blow up, and you're throwing bottle rockets at each other and shooting Roman candles, watching them run down the road. But
That's funny.
Got to celebrate, man. It's the 4th. Come on.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's
and
about having
so
fun.
thank you for being on for this.
we're super
a lot
excited.
of your music, we'll definitely get into it, but it's very patriotic and stuff. So I was like, this would be perfect for 4th of July. And stuff.
Well, thank you. We're excited too. We're going to be rolling up playing the Battlefield at Gettysburg.
No way.
Friday night, July
Wow.
3rd, late at, probably, kind of headlining the thing, the last band to go on. So we're very excited. We just played 4 shows up in Pennsylvania last weekend and turning right around and going back up there, a different part of the state. But it's an honor to play any of the 250 celebrations, let alone the Battlefield at Gettysburg,
That's wild.
right?
Yeah,
That's
that is
wild.
very
Yeah.
cool. I love that.
That's awesome.
So we're going to dive into all that, but first, and this is perfect, so we always talk about what we're drinking.
Yeah.
The easy one real quick, Johnny. You
Brought some Jack Daniels.
Can't get more American
I
than
mean,
that.
like again, we tend to usually buy each other the worst alcohol we could find because it's fun for us. But yeah, today
This is actually good.
is decent. Yeah. I'm excited. But would you mind telling us about your beer? You brought your own, and tell us about it.
Absolutely. We have a brand called American Rebel. We, crafted the company after the song I had out called American Rebel off my Time to Fight record. Started the company in 2015 with our concealed carry backpacks, coats, jackets, moved into gun safes. And about a year and a half ago, we launched America's patriotic, God-fearing, Constitution-loving, national anthem singing, stand your ground beer. Says so right on the can.
It says it all
it actually
on there.
says that.
Yeah, that's why I was like, does it say all that?
We happen to be drinking our Stand Tall, Stand Proud, Be Loud Tall Boys today. The 16 ounces are cold. And, we've done it to overwhelming success. We're in 18 states now. We're with the largest distributors in the country, the Coors Miller houses, the Anheuser-Busch houses. So another reason to be blessed this 4th of July. We're loving it and having a good time. And it's the only all-natural light beer on the market. No corn syrup, no rice extract. And people tell us we're the fastest growing beer in history. I don't know about that for sure because I don't have the numbers to back that up, but some really smart people say we are. I just say it tastes like I just take it and I just tell them it tastes like freedom. So, cheers.
Cheers, absolutely. Yeah, this is great. We had, not not often we have someone bring their own beer. We had one. Didn't we have one artist that had their own vodka?
Yes, a gentleman in Canada, I believe.
Yeah, the Canadian artist.
Yeah, that's what Canada would imply. Yes.
But let's not talk about that
It
today,
could have been
Johnny.
French.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well,
It could have been a French artist
is
from
fair.
In
Canada.
all fair.
Yeah.
I guess
no.
that's still a French Canadian, but I guess it could have been.
He was gonna. That was when we had to do that one over Zoom.
Brett
and he said
Kissel.
Brett Kissel, and he was gonna send us some. He didn't.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you.
Canadians. What can
No,
you do?
this is what it looks like to have a good guest. No,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, I tell people all the time I got problems in life, but beer ain't one of them.
That's
right. I don't run out. I don't run
out.
That's cool.
Well, matter if I get started?
Yeah, let's do it, Johnny.
All
Let's
right.
dive in.
Well, Andy, we usually like to, with any artists that we have on, obviously your story is super extensive and love to get into all of it, but give us just a little bit of background, like where you started, what kind of got you, like childhood, where you came from, what brought you here, what
we'll
got
go
you
way
into all
back.
this stuff. I mean, like
Way back.
like small synopsis of it.
You know, you shouldn't ask somebody my age to go way back. We might be here a while.
That's why I said small synopsis. I'll put
All
a
right.
timer on.
I'll get the background short. But I grew up in a very small town called Chanute, Kansas, in the southeast corner of Kansas. And me and all my friends grew up quail hunting, duck hunting, pheasant hunting, all the upland, waterfowl stuff. And when I grew up in that small town environment, we could actually go jump ponds before school during duck season. And we could get to school even 20 minutes late, pulling off our camo, our guns are hanging in the back of the truck right there, in the school parking lot. No one cared. And the principal would just go, guys,
You gotta get here on time.
Get here on time tomorrow. Move it along a little faster. And hey, how'd you do? And, I mean, we had taxidermy as a class, for crying out loud.
No
We
way.
had an elective. In our shop classes, one thing we could do is taxidermy. So, we grew up hunting.
Yeah.
And later in life, I developed a passion for bow hunting. I moved into archery. And I saw the target out back.
Yeah.
And so I know you'll love that story. So moved into bow hunting and started manufacturing bows. I started making DVDs of my hunts.
Yes.
The DVD landed on the desk of the Outdoor Channel. And the next thing I knew, I ended up with my own TV show called Maximum Archery World Tour. I bow hunted the world for 10 years on outdoor TV.
I'm willing to bet that my father. So I sent my dad one of the songs. What is it? Blood Trail, the Whitetail.
Blood Trail on a Whitetail?
Yeah, because we're huge hunters. So at least my dad is way massive. I'm there. But he used to always put on that channel when he'd be working out, like
Sure.
at home. So I'm willing to bet he saw it.
Oh, I guarantee it.
That's going to be awesome.
Not to pat myself on the back, but it was one of the most popular outdoor shows for a string of
Really?
years. Yeah, we were on 10 years, and
Oh, wow.
we had 10 years on outdoor TV, Outdoor Channel, Sportsman's Channel, Pursuit Network, and there was a 4 to 6 year stretch where we were the show.
Yeah.
And the reason we were the show was I started watching what kids were doing.
Yeah.
And they were doing crazy fun things with skateboards, motorcycles, bicycles. As you know, the X Games were invented.
Oh, yeah.
And so my thought was, why is a kid going to be interested in bow hunting when all he sees me is, hey, it's Tuesday. I'm in Kansas. The wind's out of the east. We got to pick this up. So I decided, well, here's what we'll do. We'll film the travel and the camaraderie, because my crew was fun. And we were on the road 7 months a year, most of the time in the States, but we were out of the country, a couple times a year too. And, we were the guys in between camp that would find some bar with Honey Blonde local on tap and almost get in a bar fight and doing our laundry in small town, laundry mats, and eating at crazy places and crossing borders and, 3 days late to camp. I mean, just pulling up 3 days late and watching the outfitter come screaming at us was, that was fun to film. So we filmed the camaraderie, which really made it like one of the first reality shows.
Right.
And then I thought, well, since now we're filming the actual, the making of the show as we go, and it's kind of like we treated it like a tour. And I took the dates, the species, the location of everything we hunted for that whole season, and I had my itinerary for the whole year where I was going and all my hunts. And I put it across the back of of T-shirts like this, like old Van Halen and Journey concert shirts. And the sold out stamp, boom, on the back. And so we called it Maximum Archery World Tour. And I thought, well, I could play a little music. How fun would it be to have proprietary music that I could use in the beginning of the show and the intro, the credits rolling in and out of commercials. And so I wrote songs like Gotta Go Hunting Blues, Hunt Me Down, Blood Trail on a Whitetail, Support Your Local Wildlife, and put these songs out. And the timing of the internet exploding, the timing of file sharing, and most importantly, the timing of iTunes. Took what I was doing and with really making music for the show, I ended up with a music career starting to bubble. And
let me ask you really quick before you continue with that. So do you play music, and did you have any musical inclination prior, or was this kind of like a?
Well, my best asset about me playing music is I could play music, but the best asset was I didn't know I couldn't play music. So when you have a hunting TV show and you got a lot of people around you that are country artists that want that are hunters, and they love your show and be on your show. So let me just say this. Yes, I could play, but I had a lot of people early on, like the Davison brothers and different people that were helping me hone it in.
Okay. That's awesome.
I had some really good friends along the way help me kind of put it all together. One of them's over here in the corner, Mr. Doug Grau, who Doug over here, he did the Little Texas records and worked with Travis Tritt and did all the records, and David Ball and the Blue Collar Comedy Tour with Larry the Cable Guy and Jeff Foxworthy, and he was working with the Davison brothers at the time, and they were big fans of the show, and we ended up co-writing, and he ended up taking me in the studio, and we've been making music and doing some business ever since now, going on 14, 15 years, something like that.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, you guys been doing it.
Yeah, we've been doing it. So the show was popular, and we did the music on the show. iTunes comes along, and I end up getting calls from artists earlier in their career, but national touring artists are calling me up going, "Hey man, I'd love to be a guest on your show. And by the way, your music's all right. But if you'd like to, come write one, come to town and let's write." So I got a lot of invitations from the hunting show to write, to meet people like Doug Davison brothers. He put me with Porter Howe from Little Texas fame. God bless Texas. Amy's back in Austin. Kick a Little. What might have been all those beautiful songs they wrote and have been playing now 30 plus years. And they helped me find a sound, and we haven't looked back since.
I know that because I keep reading more. Like I feel like you've only hit halfway, and then it just keeps going into a new story. Oh, that's awesome.
That's interesting. I'm curious what your opinion is on this, because it is something we talk about. How there's artists, there's songwriters, musicians, whatever, and they all kind of have a different. Sometimes there's artists, songwriters, but I think with artists, a lot of times. The job is to represent a voice. And you don't necessarily, as long as you're representing the voice well, I think that's what matters. That's what an artist does. I mean, do you think that's do you relate to that? Like you can represent a voice? Like it didn't matter if you didn't.
I 1,000% relate to it because I tell people all the time, look, I'm not going to win the voice. I'm not. And I may not get a chair to turn around, but I sing Andy Ross music better than anybody in the world. So I found my lane. I found my voice. I know, the things that I represent and believe in today are the same things that we were cultivating on the show, going way back to starting in 2005. And, we just haven't changed. I'll never forget, tell the story. And I'm not, Doug's standing right here. We just got out of the studio, so he, ran down here with me. But, we were talking about when we started to make the first record, which was You Ain't Seen Crazy Yet. He's like, Andy, let's make a record, but we can't do 12, 14 hunting songs.
Yeah, we got to change it up a little bit.
We got to do something else. You already got a few of them behind you. Can't just, we just can't do all these hunting. The whole album is a CD, but album of music, hunting songs. And that's when he put me with Porter Howe. And we tried some stuff. In my opinion, we wrote some things and took a swing at kind of the top 40 country, which, at that time, what that was. And we did put a couple hunting songs on the CD. And he said, well, what else are you passionate about? And I said, well, all my hunting's archery, but I love the shooting sports. I'm very pro-patriotic, chasing the American dream, pro-Constitution, pro-Second Amendment. And Doug said, well, look, he said, hunting is this big.
Yeah.
Bow hunting's this big.
So you could
But
open
patriotism
it up.
is this big.
There you go.
So let's
smart.
do that. So we found a couple songs that worked off the first record and went more that direction really dug into that direction for the second project. And by the third project, I would say we kind of found the lane of country patriotic rock and roll, taking a guy who, I grew up on Seeger and Fleetwood Mac. I love the Black Crowes, and, he's got a strong country background, and we just kind of put it together and shook it up, and what came out of it was what we do today. So
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of we literally were talking about this before you guys got here. I was like, man, I love the country rock thing, but with country rock, there's always an element of blues prior.
Yeah,
like there's always like that, right before it, and that's what I grew up on, and I'm just like, oh yeah. I immediately am like, yep, I love this. This is great. So no, it's some good stuff there. I had a feeling you have a face when you have a question. You're just like I'm ready.
Well, yeah. And I don't know if you want to dive into this yet, but screw it.
Just try it.
Yeah, screw it. So like, you seem to always have had an entrepreneurial spirit.
He's bad with words.
Yeah, I'm bad with words. I can spell words, but I can't say them. I don't know. Very weird. But anyways, don't ask me to spell
let's
that word.
have another beer.
Let's have another beer.
I'll make a quick one.
Entrepreneurial.
Like to preface something. He always says preface.
Yeah, because I'm
And
dumb,
it's
apparently.
bad.
Entrepreneurial spirit.
You got
So,
I think that's it.
yeah. And I'm curious, like, with music, so with that, like, with your businesses and stuff, like you said, you noticed people online were doing stuff. You, like, had a finger on the pulse of what's going on kind of thing. And so, like, it seems like you did kind of the same thing with your music where you're like, oh, so this seems to be, like, a good direction to go. And I point this out because I think a lot of times artists, they torn between, like, well, obviously, it's just like super authentic to you, and I think that's the most important part ultimately. But I think like creating a sound or an image specifically like with that in mind. Do you know what I'm saying? Versus just like writing whatever you want. Like oh, so this is where I need to go. So this is what I need to write. So I'm curious, like how other artists think about that. Like what your opinion is on that. Like
or if you've gotten any. We had
some very different circumstances going into a music career. Number one, we had a fan base from the TV shows, so we had a fan base that already had some expectations. Yeah. Number two, when I came to Nashville to make music and really start my music career, I was already 41 years old. So if I could do what I could do today, and I was in my early 20s. I might I might say, okay, I still need work, but I might take a stab a completely different direction.
Right.
But when you start out at 41 and you have a fan base, and I know my audience, because I did all the trade shows, the Iowa Deer Classic, Dixie Deer Classic, Great American Outdoor Shows, SHOT Show. I mean, I was at all those signing autographs and meeting people and hanging out, and so I knew I had an idea, a real good idea who my audience was. So we kind of laid into music, but at the same time, we have a brand now, American Rebel, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But Andy Ross was already kind of a brand with a certain base of people who enjoyed the
Fan
brand.
base,
So we kind of laid into that.
Yeah.
And I didn't really see where I was and how late I started the career, that I was going to be the next young, big radio hit guy.
Yeah.
And so we just leaned into what we leaned into what I was already doing. We just leaned into it with music.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So actually, this is a thought I had. So now that you're doing music, well, you've been doing it, and it seems like you're sick of busy with it. But like, is there a difficulty of balancing like all the businesses and all these other things that you're doing, and then doing music? Do you have a hard balance and a hard split on it, or does everything intertwine a little bit?
Well, I've got a couple things working for me. We've got some great people. I've
Yeah,
talked
always.
about Doug Grau over here. I mean, Corey Lambert is a guy who brought Smith & Wesson back to the U.S.
Okay.
And put together the funding for that and a group of people. And, he recognized American Rebel, like Doug and I did, was a brand. It was America's patriotic brand back in 2015 when we started the company. Mm-hmm. And the thing about Corey, the thing about Doug, like I have major roles in the business, and I'll have people tell me, I did a podcast early this morning at 8:30, and it's like, you wear so many hats. And I'm like, I really don't. I wear the same hat that I was wearing at Maximum Archery, that I wear when I do my music, that I wear when I go to New York, where I go to an investor con. I'm the same person. It's telling the same story, doing the same thing, and I don't have anybody in my collective circle that ask me to do anything different.
Yeah.
No one's looking at me at American Rebel to read the next big year-end audit filing. No one's looking at me to do that.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
But a lot of CEOs of companies do that. That is their responsibility, but they don't necessarily get out in front of people and represent the brand, be the face of the brand, and go promote the brand in front of big audiences and I mean, it doesn't matter if I'm in New York at the investor conference or playing this show we've got coming up Friday night, or doing a podcast, or just living my life. So I really just wear the same hat. I just wear it to different places, and no one makes me change it. So it's really not that hard.
Yeah. So sorry, I was wrapping my head around it. So yeah, you're definitely wearing the same hat, and then rely on the people that keep joining you. Not I wouldn't say under you, but that are working with you. And,
beside me, and they they understand the value I can bring to the company, and they ask me to do that, and they don't ask me to do a lot of things that is not in my wheelhouse. So and come on, we're making concealed carry clothing, gun safes and beer. I know my products.
You seem to be very passionate about everything you do.
I know my products.
So I you know what? That's always something that's inspiring for me, because I'm like, somebody that's passionate about what they do, and it seems like every single one of them, you are. That's awesome.
Yeah. To absolutely know who you are.
Yeah.
Honestly, that seems obvious, but it's rare for musicians, I think.
It is.
To know who they are.
I could see young artists coming to town trying to figure out, okay, who do I need to be to fit into the next mold of people that the establishment's going to promote and push towards success? Yeah. Not who am I, but who do I need to be? Where do I need to fit in? And what's so and so wearing, and what's how's this work? And again, that I said earlier, if I was very young when I came to town and very young in a music career, I might very well have done the same thing. Is like, all right, what do I need to be doing, and what kind of stuff do I need to be playing to be in front of what's going on right now?
What mask hat you need to put on?
Yeah. So I just we just leaned into what we're doing, and like I said, never look back.
I think it's awesome. It's actually really inspiring. I love it.
That's really cool.
All right. You guys might not have noticed, but we had to take a quick second because the sun was creeping up on us, and it would have gotten all weird. So there might be a little change in the lighting. But with that said, I have a question ready. But Brian, do you have anything that you want? All right. Well, let's talk. You talked a lot about it already, but I want to hear like the full in depth. So you wrote the song "American Rebel" first before the brand started, correct?
Yes.
What was the like turnaround on that? So first off, you were writing music. You started writing music for your shows and everything that was happening, which I think is sick. And then you wrote this song, and now Did the song kind of give you the idea of kind of expanding, or was the expansion like, well, let's name it this, or what was that?
Yeah,
that process?
it was a combination of a handful of things.
All right, hit me.
And so the business was changing. We weren't selling hard copy CDs anymore. We'd put out physical product. It was all digital. It was moving streaming. The revenue models were changing. I had the song out, and Danny from Counting Cars on the History Channel loved the song. Put me on Counting Cars.
No way.
Where he built me the Second Amendment muscle car.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, the Cold Dead Hand Corvette, man.
Oh
And,
my God!
yeah, it's
I'm gonna have to
beautiful.
look that up.
Oh, one of his songs is on there, or the song's on there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we had that going. So we had this big shot in the arm from a TV appearance on a very popular show on the History Channel.
Yeah.
So Doug had grown up in the music, or been in the music business long enough to where they made money with vinyl and cassette and CD, and then here was digital. And he had said to me, he said, we've got to maybe figure out a way to monetize the music, because we're not certain how this revenue stream from music's going to go down.
Yeah.
And, even though we had, some reasonable numbers on iTunes, we also had the data that, for every time someone actually downloaded a song, there were, I don't remember the number, but umpteen or 20 some or 30, illegal downloads.
Oh, yeah,
So,
yeah.
Or legal or illegal. I'm
I was saying,
not here to debate that.
At this point, we're in our LimeWire and Napster situation, right?
Yeah, so,
okay, I got it right.
Yeah,
then.
so people aren't, Anyway, he's like, we have to figure out how to monetize the music. American Rebel was, out there as a patriotic anthem and doing well. Counting Cars was airing, and they rerun that show all the time.
Yeah.
It's best of Counting Cars, best build Counting Cars, best paint job Counting Cars.
No.
I mean, it hits all of those different categories when they rerun those. Tune in this Saturday for best paint jobs on Counting. It's always in that one. It's always in best build. It's always been best of.
That's awesome.
And
Real side question.
sure.
Do you get paid for that when they rerun stuff, or was it just like a one-time?
We did not get paid to be on Counting Cars, and I'll finish I'll tell you that, and then I'll move on to finish the rest of the story real quick. But so the thing that Danny did do for us on Counting Cars is he called it Locked and Loaded, or Rocked and Loaded.
Rocked and loaded.
With Andy Ross, country rocker Andy Ross. He didn't need to do that. He didn't need to say that. He didn't need to hit the music and hit the pitch me like he did, but he got pushback from the network. They had, the History Channel's been, was bought out by a big, that has Discovery and other
I
networks.
was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it's
one of the
Discovery,
huge.
Yeah, and he was getting pushback to run an episode, of the Second Amendment muscle car. And he stuck his gun, he stuck to his guns, no pun intended, but he stuck in there and he got him to air it. It took forever to air. I mean, we had the car and, I wasn't for sure if it was ever going to air, but he held his ground and they aired it. Now they air it all the time or rerun it often.
Yeah.
So we had that momentum going of the song. Doug, 2 weeks before I met Corey, had said, we got to figure out a way to monetize, the music with some type of products or something. I meet Corey Lambrick, the guy from Smith & Wesson, who I told you about earlier. Mm-hmm. He says, that's a brand. American Rebel's the brand. It's America's patriotic brand. The song's a mission statement. I said, me and Doug were just having that conversation. I'm on an elk hunt out west when I met up with Corey. And I said, me and Doug Grau just had this conversation. And that's how the company came about.
It is incredible to me that
That was 2015, by the way.
Yeah, that's even crazier because it's incredible to me that nobody has used that as a brand. Like
Yeah, right?
Like,
True.
it seems
Seems
obvious.
yeah.
Hey, there were times in the 11 years where we, not everybody loved the name of the brand. I mean,
Really?
we caught a little heat from time to time, and we stood our ground and said, it's not American Rebel is someone who holds a door, helps a neighbor fix a fence, can do a deal on a handshake, but still's not afraid to defend himself, his family, a room full of total strangers have called upon, or his country. And whatever you want to try to make that name into, that's not what we're saying.
Yeah.
And there was a there were some 3-month windows along the way where we just held our breath for a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, now the name is exactly represented. Is exactly what we put it out there as, and everybody's loving the name and loving the brand.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
By the way, the beer is great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is great.
Let's talk about that for a second.
The fifth one's even better.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, and then so by the way, based on I'm looking at notes just so
No
everyone
problem.
knows. Counting Cars, Cold Dead Hand was another one that was on there, correct?
Yeah, American Rebel was what we were leaning into when we did that. But what he had kind of romanced the idea of was months ago when we had Cold Dead Hand out. So we already had American Rebel was out on the heels of Cold Dead Hand.
Oh,
and
okay.
But Cold Dead Hand was it's the Second Amendment anthem, and it's the song that got him to ring our phone.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, cool. That's awesome.
But we were laying into American Rebel by the time we were filming.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
You want to hear? Danny? I mean, the show, right?
Oh yeah, I love it.
You want to hear a real quick Danny
Absolutely.
story?
I was
would
like,
love
I
to.
don't know it at
I'm
all.
a huge car guy.
Yeah, I am not.
For some time it was the mountaintop of car shows. I mean, it just was
Very cool.
And my coolest Danny story. So I went out there and we kind of had a conversation about how the show would go. I was already out west anyway. I did a lot of hunting out
Is he
west.
in
A lot of elk hunting.
Vegas?
Yes.
Right? Because he was on Pawn Stars originally, or whatever. That's
Exactly.
how he got started. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he was kind of a spinoff with his show. And I went, he's got this big warehouse with all, a bunch of his builds and some of his collection and his offices in there. And it's kind of upstairs and kind of secluded from everything else because he's got a lot of fans touring the collection and stuff.
Yeah.
So we had a conversation and we decided that I was going to be in his tattoo shop and get this tattoo. Defending,
That is awesome.
No way.
Defending the Second Amendment. I got this at Danny's tattoo shop.
No way.
Yeah.
It's sick.
And then he was going to come in and go, hey, man, and, they called and said, Andy Ross is in my tattoo shop. I wanted to come meet you. And I'm getting, they did the tattoo the day before, but they were, pretending to, because they couldn't be like tattooing me and me sitting there having a conversation.
Yeah.
And we started talking. He's like, hey, we ought to build you a car, man. What would you think? So that's how the show went down. But
Wow.
I'm out there earlier in the in our meetings, and we're having this conversation about how it's going to go down. So I leave, and I go out into the parking lot. It's just Vegas hot, and I'm walking away, and all of a sudden the door opens behind me, and he goes, hey, Andy. And I turned around, and I go, yeah, what? He said, if you don't hear from me in 2 weeks, you got my cell phone. If they don't get a hold of you, you got my cell number. You don't hear from them in 2 weeks, call me.
Wow.
And I said, all right, buddy, I'll call you. And I turned around, keep walking. He goes, hey, Andy. And I turn around, and I go, hey, what? He goes, not too early. And I look at him, we're a little distance away here. And I go, what? You're not a morning guy? And he looks at me without missing a beat, and he goes, well, I am the Count.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. He's the Count.
And I was like, all right, you're cooler than me.
You're cooler than me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that guy's pretty cool.
That was pretty cool.
God. It's always sobering when for a fact you're like,
God, this
damn
guy's
it,
cool.
this guy's cool.
Yeah.
Always, being a big bow hunter, I always relate it to like when the bigger buck comes in and runs the other bucks off, or the bigger elk comes in and pushes the other elk out of the way. I'm like, golly.
What's the biggest buck you've ever gotten? Sorry, I gotta ask that. I gotta ask.
173 is the biggest whitetail I've taken with a bow.
Dang.
173.
How many points?
That's not how they score by lengths
see,
of points and every state that has small deer, it's on
I'm from
9
Michigan.
point.
Yeah. So they go by point.
You used to have big deer. You used to have really big deer.
We're getting big deer now.
Yeah.
It's getting bigger, but we have also hunted in Wyoming.
There's probably. I mean, it's 14 counting kickers.
Okay. Yeah.
And but got three elk over 370, probably 6 or 7 over 350.
All right.
I had one time I had 3 moose in the top 50 of in the book, the top
Man.
50 at one time with
Bow
all
hunting?
with a
While
bow. Yeah.
bow hunting, I feel
Killed the third largest brown bear in the world with a bow.
what the.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Now that was so
I don't
long
like
ago.
that at all.
I'm like, no.
I'm afraid of bears. I
That
don't
was
like
so long ago. I'm sure it's it's probably not in the top
Yeah.
20 now, but killed a feral bullfighting bull in Mexico with a bow. Grizzlies did the big 5 with a bow
Wow.
over in Mozambique, Zimbabwe. And
Oh,
Botswana.
really?
You remember
With a
how
bow.
you just had that moment where you were like, that guy's cooler than me? We just had
Yeah,
that
yeah.
moment. We're both
My-
like, he's cooler than us.
My whole family, they're in Wisconsin. That's all they do is bow hunt.
course.
They're bow hunters. That's like their thing. My grandpa got a big black bear, and he had the skin of it in this room. And my mom always tells me this story because she opened the door and this big bear was staring at her. She was like, "Ah!" I just love it.
Yeah, Wisconsin, man, they're good hunters up there. There's a lot of hunters.
Oh,
up
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Good outdoorsmen up there. Michigan as well.
Michigan, yeah. And yeah, I come from a long line of hunters. Yeah, so it was good.
You don't run up to the UP, do you?
We used to. I have nightmares of the UP when I was like 10 years old.
That's all.
They would put me in a tree. My dad would be like, "You don't move from that spot," and it's blizzard, and I'm sitting there like, "Oh, yeah." And
That's
then
a different world up there.
oh my God, no! And the funniest part is this is nowadays it's more in comfort where we stay, but back in the day, they had no money, so
Yeah.
they put up like giant plywood and put a tarp on top, and that was our cabin.
Yeah.
And I could hear
Snuggle up.
noises everywhere, and I'm like, oh my God. And we used to hunt with this big guy, and he would snore, and I was 10, I think, and I woke up being like, Dad, there's a bear outside.
Your buddy snoring.
Yep, exactly. Oh, man. Well,
I'm curious, like, so you've had a lot of opportunity, obviously. You've had
maybe
the TV shows and all that. So I'm like, what has that got, like, what kind of cool stuff have you done musically? Like, have you, like, played these, like, cool events and shows?
We've
and
played a
stuff
lot of great events. We just played the 250th anniversary for the United States Army at Fort Campbell.
Wow.
Yeah, and
That's great.
Yeah, and we got we play a lot of freedom festivals.
Yeah.
I play 8 to 12 NHRA races, drag races a year.
Oh, cool.
And we sponsor our beer. We sponsor Tony Stewart Racing, Matt Hagan, 4-time
Oh.
world champ, funny car driver, Leah Pruitt. And I wrote a song called Nitro Lightning that the NHRA adopted, and then that led into them booking us to play a lot of events.
Oh, cool.
We've done like I said, freedom festivals. Played the Coca-Cola 600 last year.
Damn.
Wow.
Headed off to play the battlefield at Gettysburg for the 250 celebration.
That's right.
Friday night.
Let's
So
talk about that.
it takes us, the bow, the music. I mean, it's taken me around the world a time or two. Honestly, we hunted New Zealand and Zimbabwe and Mozambique and a lot of Botswana and all over the Yukon and Alaska, and not just of course United States, the United States, Alaska and Montana and New Mexico and. It's been a lot of fun. You never know where something can take you,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think some of the shows we've done and some of the people that I've got to meet and artists we've gotten to play with, and it just and what's amazing to me is I always thought as I started so late that it wouldn't have legs for very long,
Right.
and it just keeps getting bigger and the audiences are bigger, the downloads are bigger. We have just released a song on the 15th of this month. We're still in June, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Called Hold My Beer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which isn't
we
exactly
heard that
about
one.
what you think it's about. But that thing caught fire on streaming, and the next thing we knew, the American Rebels and the Cold Dead Hands and the I Stand For Yous and stuff, they took off.
Yeah, it
It just
cascades.
and it's like, wow, this thing just keeps going.
Yeah.
And I'm going to push it as long as I can. Why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool. That's inspiring because, like, I'm getting older and I'm like, man, should I just stop playing? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, no, you're never too old to do music.
never-
I mean,
yeah.
it is music.
You
Just
never
be
know
true to
what's gonna hit.
yourself.
Yeah.
And yeah. I think that's important. Just being authentic. I think we talk about that all the time.
All the time.
Almost every single person we have on here.
Yeah, because we always notice like you'll there's many people that can make it if you put on the different hats and you're doing all this stuff. But yeah, if you stick true, you'll find the people that want to listen.
Yeah, they can tell.
yeah.
You know.
Oh, yeah.
They can tell.
There's a sense for it.
I keep pointing to Doug because he's standing over there, but I can't tell you how many
No,
times.
no, I will say, Doug. If I'm trying to remember, if Doug, you're the one that said that. The one thing I will agree with is widening the scope. A lot of times does help.
Doug's a smart guy. Isn't he?
He says to me in the studio all the time, we're just, beating up a vocal and doing what we're doing. And I'm like, man, what the hell was wrong with that? And he's like, I just didn't believe you. I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
What the hell's that mean?
No, I love that.
Just didn't believe you.
Yeah.
That's
Do it
great.
again.
That's a great producer. Now.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
that's
as
a brutal producer.
As a
actually.
producer, no, I mean, a producer's job, like when I have Kayla in the studio, people in here and stuff like that.
His wife.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, you need to feel that whatever you're saying. Like it has, like that's a producer's job to get the artist, because it is so unnatural to just stand in a little room and sing into a mic. I mean, it's hard to get emotional in that moment. So like, you gotta have someone kind of pushing you and be like,
Sure.
Yeah. Mom. So you just say mean things so she gets emotional?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That sounds fair.
But he says, I just didn't believe you. One more for safety.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. Well, we could audition that. I think those are the top three things that you say.
I recorded with a guy and he would always be like, that was so good. Let's just do one more. And he would
about-
say that over and over.
That's some bullshit.
That was really good. Can we do one more?
Well, what I love is what he'll do is I'll do it a handful of times, and then he'll say, well, let's just do one more for safety.
Yeah.
And then I'll do that, and then he'll go, well, while we're here, I got one more track. Let's just do one more. And then he'll say, those last two, I think you just leaned into it a little more. I think those. Let's do a couple more now that you got it.
Yeah.
I mean, it don't end.
That's so mean. Just to here we go. Here's the.
And I could just see him in comps going, why did I make him do this 72 times?
I know.
Crap. That's when you get lost. You're like, I can't remember which one's the best one.
I know.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part.
If I was producing, I'd be like, I'm gonna give you 5 shots at this so I can remember which one and I'm gonna pick one of the 5. But
That's what I think. People that like to do it all in one take, they say it's for art. I'm like, no, you're just lazy. Just record a bunch of takes.
Where are we at, by the way, Brian?
We're just over 45. We're probably close because he's got to do a
Yeah,
song or
and
two.
they do a song.
Are you gonna do a couple songs for us or a song?
yeah,
or
we
whatever?
can do one or two, no problem.
Well, we do have at least one more question, but the final question that we have. But before that, do you have anything else you want to ask?
Well, I'm curious. I mean, you have so many ventures and stuff like that. Is there anything that we didn't touch on that you like want to?
I'm sure
about?
we could
No,
probably do four of
uh,
these, and
We're really excited about America's patriotic beer, our Rebel Light. We're as I said, we're in 18 states. We have we're with the largest distributors in the country in those 18 states, and we've opened up chain stores now. Take Nashville, we're all up and down Broadway. We're Kid Rock's, Tootsie's, Honky
Are
Tonk
you?
Central,
Oh,
Rippies.
snap.
Yeah, Whiskey River, Whiskey Bent, Doc Holidays, and I mean just all up and down Broadway.
I'd never go downtown, so I wouldn't know.
It's something we're real proud of right now. We just opened up our first NFL stadium, Lincoln Financial Field, where the Eagles play.
Oh, nice.
And we've got great distribution going up there. They've 3 different chain accounts up there, and that's part of why they're pulling me in to play these events, because the beer distributors sponsor bike rallies and stuff. So they're starting to pull us other directions with more playing opportunities and bigger events. And so everything just kind of is feeding into everything. But if you're 21, go to AmericanRebelBeer.com. If you're not 21, go to AmericanRebel.com. And everything Andy Ross is AndyRoss.com. So
Absolutely.
Nice.
Perfect.
I love it. And
Yeah, definitely
what were you
check it
recording
out.
today? A new album, a new single? What are you doing?
we were doing backup vocals on a song I wrote called Aces Loaded.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
So we have a special person, Karen, that comes in and does just a great job for us, and we appreciate her over and over and over again, and we just think the world of her background vocals and
Oh,
what she
nice.
does. So we had the opportunity to work with her today. So
Has she been in some of the newer background vocals? Has she been, I'm trying to remember what song, because I remember thinking that there's a lot of like gospel like background
Carol-
vocals that I recognize.
Yeah.
Carol
I
can
noticed that, too.
Did you? Yeah.
Carol can do all the parts.
Oh, okay.
She can do girl 1, girl 2, girl 3,
Yeah,
gospel
gotcha.
girl 1, bluegrass girl 2, rock girl 3.
That's
She-
good. Yeah.
That's the best way to
Good
do
person
it.
to have, huh?
yeah, she can do it all. So, we love having her come in, and she brings a lot to the table.
Yeah.
I do remember one time though on Heaven Got a Hellraiser, we had a couple come in that's really gospel just built, just that's their specialty.
Yeah.
And I think they toured with Garth for a while, and this gal comes in and she's behind the glass and tall skinny guy next to her and which he did the high parts with. I thought they kind of reversed what I thought. And Doug pushed the button down there on the board and said, "Now let's give this a listen." And he said, or we listened to the whole thing, and he said, "Now I think what we're, on this part," and he started to kind of coach him, and she just looked at him and she goes, "Baby, it's gonna do what it's gonna do."
That's awesome.
Oh, so he wasn't gonna be like, just one more.
And he goes, "Well, okay."
That just shows how easily like we're manipulated. Somebody's like, just one more, and we're like, okay, yeah. I didn't believe it. Okay, and she's like, nah.
She's like, nah, I got it. That's very funny.
That's awesome.
So the last question we like to ask.
Well, hold on, real quick.
Oh, you got something.
Well, no. I don't have something. Well, actually, yeah. Finish that up, and then I'll do the. We'll yeah. Sorry, it's been a while since I've had a guest. I forget. Like we have a certain structure now.
Yeah.
And then when we have a guest, we change the structure, and I'm like, oh crap. Never mind. Go
That's
ahead.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So being that you got your own beer,
You hunt.
you hunt. So
You do music and travel.
yeah, do a lot of traveling.
There's
playing cool
definitely
shows, stuff like
something
that.
here.
So we like to always ask. We like to end being music and brews with the brews story. Do you have any good drinking stories or drinking related stories that you could tell us without getting in
Yeah,
trouble
don't get in trouble.
legally?
We've heard some illegal ones.
We have.
We have heard some where we're like, don't get in trouble now.
As the CEO of American Rebel and American Rebel Beverage and Rebel Light, we only promote responsible drinking and don't tell
That's
stories about
good.
any drinking or promote drinking in excess. So that's my great drinking story. Is I can't
You
tell
can't
drinking
do
stories.
it. All right, you know what? We respect that.
That's the best.
What about a stranger
and
that you've
extremely-
heard of somewhere?
And
once upon a time?
extremely
Kidding.
true. It's an extremely true story.
No problem.
I have to say cheers.
Say cheers.
Yeah, all right.
There you
You
go.
know what?
Yeah, that's cool.
Your best drinking stories will be with you.
Yeah.
No, we didn't even think about that.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
that you would
no.
have to probably say that.
Yeah, no.
As someone who like sells beer.
You gotta promote responsible.
drinking. Yeah.
So one
We don't.
One story about beer is every time I go buy Rebel Light, like at Frugal McDougal, my daughters tell me, "Dad, every time you buy your beer, you make money." And I say, "No, honey, every time I buy my beer, I pay for it twice. I already paid for it
That's
once.
very true.
Now I'm just buying it again at retail."
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good story.
That's very
I like
funny.
that.
I thought of that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Well, thank you so much for being on. Obviously, you guys stick around. We're gonna have you play a song here
Sure.
really quick, and we'll get you guys rocking. I know that you've been working all day, so I bet you're tired.
Oh man, it's always a blessing to get to play. So no problem at all.
Awesome. Well, let me do it. With that said, guys, thank you so much for listening. Make sure to check us out on Music and Brews on TikTok, Instagram, whatever it is, all the social medias. You guys know the social medias. You're not dumb. And subscribe and make sure to check out Mr. Andy Ross and obviously American Rebel.
That's right.
And rock and roll.
Yes, sir.
With that said,
All right. Well, let's cheers.
let's cheers.
Cheers.
All right. This is Doug Cahan. I'm Andy Ross. Let's rebel up. Calling all you hippies and outlaws, calling all you suits and ties, calling all you prima donnas, got a little wild child trapped inside. Calling all you cops and robbers, cowboys, Indians, and sidekicks too. Hey y'all, do me a favor, man. Cut loose, everybody's got a little rebel in them. Come on everybody, holler, it's alright. Everybody's got a little devil in them. Help me raise a little rebel hell tonight. Oh yeah. I'm calling all you men and women, gather round you boys and girls, calling folks from all religions, all around this great big world. Give me your high and mighty, give me your meek and mild. Lovers, fighters, truckers, and bikers, saddle up, let's ride. Everybody's got a little rebel in them. Come on everybody, holler, it's alright. Everybody's got a little devil in them. Help me raise a little rebel hell tonight. Oh yeah. No matter what you're tired of, stand up. If you're done with the bullshit, scream. Yeah! Everybody's got a little rebel in them. Come on everybody, holler, it's alright. Everybody's got a little devil in them. Help me raise a little rebel hell tonight. Everybody's got a little rebel in them. Come on everybody, it's alright. Everybody's got a little devil in them. Help me raise a little